I'm joined now by the Democratic nominee for governor of the Commonwealth of Virginia, former Congressman Abigail Spanberger, up late with me tonight here on the Final Five. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Let's talk about the race for governor as we head into November right now. And obviously, you don't have to look ahead to a primary challenge. Neither does the lieutenant governor on the Republican side of things. When we went into November of last year, a lot was said about the economy and how that would be a guiding factor for voters. In Virginia, as we look ahead here, you just came out with a plan for housing a couple of days ago here. This has been something that's been talked about across the country right now. What challenges are Virginians facing when it comes to buying a house right now based on the economy we're in?
So in every corner of the Commonwealth, housing costs are pricing people out of the market, pricing people out of the housing market, the rental market. It's impacting the jobs that people are taking, the ability to move to a particular place, the ability to live in the community where you might work. Certainly specific to Northern Virginia. Earlier this year, we saw the Northern Virginia Regional Commission warned about slow growth because of the high cost of living. We know that while we're very proud that Virginia continues to be the #1 state for business, that CNBC review of states and how good they are for business, among the categories that they look at is cost of living and housing. So Virginia needs to really get ahead of the challenge that exists, again, in every corner of the Commonwealth as it relates to housing costs. And so I rolled out an affordability agenda for housing, also one for energy costs and one for healthcare as well, because everywhere I travel, I hear from Virginians that the costs at the pharmacy counter when they get their electric bill or on the housing market are just so high. And for many people, it's actually impacting the choices that they can make, the other investments that they're able to pursue, and the impact on families is significant. And so that's why we rolled out these affordability agendas, because at this moment, it's on the minds of Virginians, and we need a governor who is focused on understanding the breadth, scope, and size of the problem, but also focused on laying out a plan for us to build more housing, address housing affordability, and ensure that Virginia isn't just one of the many states that is facing this crisis, but is a leader among states in trying to address it.
When you mentioned that CNBC study, which ranked it as the top for business in 2024, clearly Governor Youngkin did a victory lap on that one, saying it was his policies that propelled Virginia to that. So why would voters want to change course in that case?
Well, I think it's exciting that the first two times that we had that designation was certainly under former Governor Northam. So I think it's a bipartisan priority for us to maintain that status. Certainly, I'm glad that Governor Youngkin carried on some of the policies from Governor Northam and continued to build on them.
Something that a lot of people who may have moved to Virginia or have lived in Virginia have had to deal with for a long time is the car tax. The grocery tax is one thing that came up during the last governor's race. Now it looks like the car tax. Would the car tax stay under a Governor Spanberger administration, or are you pushing to abolish that?
So for those who may be new to Virginia and have discovered the most hated tax in Virginia, let me just say that I agree with you. This is an issue that has been at the center of gubernatorial races for decades. My husband, if anyone ever meets him along the campaign trail, wrote a paper in high school about the car tax. We have a rule in my household that I cannot discuss the car tax before 9 a.m. with my spouse, because that's about the time that I've had my second cup of coffee, because it's the most hated tax in all of Virginia. That being said, I want and I will work with anybody to put Virginia on a path towards once and for all eliminating this most hated tax. The devil's in the details, of course, because there's a requirement for a constitutional amendment to make it happen, because of essentially the structure of Virginia. That is one of the primary unique ways that localities can bring in their own revenue. So there's a lot in the mix to put us on the path towards getting us there, but certainly to be responsive to the needs of Virginians, and frankly, to make my wonderful husband happy. I look forward to working with anyone to put us on path towards getting rid of the most hated tax in the Commonwealth.
We're just about out of time. I want to ask you one thing before we go. That as governor, right now we're seeing play out across the country right now. And the question is of states' rights. We're seeing what's happening in California with the President Trump calling the National Guard in LA. We have certainly not seen protests to that extent in our area, in Virginia, or anywhere for that matter. What if you were in that position? If the president wanted to deploy, as we heard, maybe in Northern Virginia, these strike forces to help bolster immigration efforts, what would your response be as governor?
So I think responding to two different things: the issue of violence that we've seen. Violence is never appropriate. It is never okay. It is never excusable. And that is an important statement. I think that everyone should be unequivocal in condemning violence. The deployment of National Guard troops, when local and state law enforcement have said that they did not need those additional resources, I think calls into clear question the state's autonomy and state's ability to determine at what level and at what time there might need to be an escalation. Certainly, as governor of Virginia, I would want to work closely with local law enforcement and certainly the state police to ensure the safety and security of all of our communities. And in the occasion, if there were ever to be heightened violence of any sort, to make sure that they have everything necessary to keep the peace, protect our communities. But it should be a conversation where the governor requests resources when necessary.
Abigail Spanberger on the Final Five. Appreciate your time. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much.
And we're back after this.